You ever wondered why no one ever talks about certain things or didn't tell you certain things when you were going through your fat loss journey? And yes, fat loss, not weight loss. If you haven't seen my previous video, click on this link, but watch this all the way through first and then click on that link, okay? So let's just get right into it. Before we go any further, like, subscribe, and click on the alerts. You know, I'm posting on other formats, and if you don't want to miss any of my content, if you click on the alert, you would definitely get notified when I am posting something. And I also have to say, sorry for the bell in the background. Bear has joined me, and long story short, he has a cat bell on him because he's sneaky and I need to know where he's at. Some things that people never tell you when you're going through your fat loss journey, I have my top ones. And so I wanted to share those with you just in case you were wondering why you're feeling this way or why you have never even considered that this is what's going on. So the first thing, and I've mentioned this quite a few times, so if you listen to me talk or follow me, I've always talked about fat goggles. You know how like they have those like drunk driving goggles where you can like put those on and they like make your eyes and your vision like all fish tanky and you can't really see anything clear, or you can't see the road clear. Well, fat goggles are kind of the same way. You cannot see yourself clearly when you're going through a fat loss process. My daughter said to me one time when we were in the store, and I was like walking by a mirror and I was checking myself out, and I was like, oh, okay, look at her, she look good. She was like, BB, my kids call me BB, long story. She said, BB, you know that they make mirrors differently and that no mirror is cut the same way, so you're always going to see yourself differently. I was like, interesting. So I started walking by a bunch of different mirrors and I'm like, she's right. Like, I never even thought about that. Like, the way that I'm perceiving myself through a mirror is not really the correct representation of who I am. This video right now, like anytime I take videos, I'm like, man, I look bigger than what I really am on a video. And then when I take a picture, I'm like, okay, so that's how I look. Oh, if I have my glasses on, if I have my contacts on, everything looks different through my eyes and what I'm looking through. So fat goggles are the way that we perceive ourselves and the way that we perceive our fat loss process. It is also the way that we see ourselves as we're losing fat. Through time, you might still see yourself as that person, the size that you are when you first started losing weight. This is why I always say, do your measurements, know your BMI, because your visual perception of yourself may not be the actual representation that is being displayed in front of you. I mean, without going into it, I mean, you know, when the vision as it comes through our eyes, like basically everything is upside down and it just like projects back out. So how you're seeing yourself may not be the actual representation of what you're doing and what progress that you have made. So always do your measurements. We all have fat goggles on, whether it be that we see ourselves too big or we see ourselves too small. We have fat goggles on. Do your measurements. That way you know, and it's something else that is going against that perception. So that's one thing. Wish somebody would have told me about fat goggles a lot earlier, because then I would have been like, actually nobody told me. I came up with that. I came up with fat goggles because I feel like that's what it's like. It's fat goggles. So think of it that way. How you're perceiving yourself through that lens is not the real representation of who you are. So we have to like get rid of those fat goggles. I mean, I still have them too from time to time. Alright, so another thing that I wish somebody would have told me, which I kind of knew, but like it wasn't really there. So I'm, you know, big chested woman. You have to look at the proportions of your body as it relates to you losing fat and where you lose fat at. So again, I lose fat in my chest first, and then it just like works its way down and around. And through my perception, it makes me feel like I'm still the same size, even though I'm not, but it's just the perception. So my number 2 is, when you are losing fat, look at how you're losing it. Look at where you're losing it at in your body, and take that into consideration, because again, the perception of how we see ourselves is what is controlling things. So if you are like me and you lose fat in your chest first, and then it filters its way on down, your chest is shrinking up, and which I'm very happy about, because I've always been big chested ever since I was little. But okay, that's neither here nor there. Y'all need to hear all that. But anyways, so if your chest is going down and then you still got like a little bit of a belly, it's gonna make you look like, oh, okay, well, I'm not really making that progress, or my shape isn't where I want it to be. You have to change it, and you have to flip it. It's not about that. It's about where you're losing the fat and how your body's responding to it. Be appreciative and give yourself a little grace about how you're losing fat in your body. So I wish somebody would have said that to me, but that's again one of those things that I'm sharing with you, because I figured that out like halfway through, and I'm like, oh, I don't look like, visually I did not look, and I still don't feel like visually I look different in shape wise, but in proportion and in my inches I am different. So again, measurements, you know, take it by your clothes, your belt loop, or whatever it is, to try to see where the difference is. Okay, the third one, I wish somebody would have told me that plateaus are some serious stuff to deal with. Like, I have talked to trainers before, and they're like, oh, you know, when you get a plateau, you just gotta switch it up, and you gotta do this, and you gotta do that. Lies. Lies. For some people, yes, that's true, but know your body type. Know what your body type is, okay? Because certain body types do not respond to plateaus the same way. My body type does not respond to plateaus the same way. And when I say body type, I'm talking about an ectomorph, a mesomorph, and an endomorph. That's what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, body types. I'm not like the world-renowned genius on it, but because I'm an endomorph, I know more about endomorph body, like what to do with the endomorph. I kind of know what to do with ectomorph and the mesomorph too, but it's neither here or there. Just because I read up on it. But I wish somebody would have told me, for my body type, what I needed to do to get past the plateau. For a whole entire year, I was at a plateau, which I was comfortable with because I like my body shape and I saw the progress, and I was able to relax and still maintain that weight and not like work excessively hard to maintain that weight. So I was perfectly fine with it. However, plateaus are real, and plateaus affect everyone differently. So if you are watching this and you are a trainer out there, I'm just going to say, I'm just going to, you know, a little helpful advice that I'm just giving out. You can take it or leave it, you know, I don't care. Look up body types and start training your people according to their body types. That will help you so much in the long run when you're trying to help your clients get past their plateau or even lose fat. I'm just saying. Alright, so those are my three. Fat goggles, also your perception of like where you're losing body fat at, and also plateaus and understanding that. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. If not, you know, hope you like it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the alerts for my next video coming out. So I hope all of you have a wonderful day, and I hope that was helpful information for you. So I will talk to you all later. Bye, beautiful people.